Greetings. We're in early February at the Arc, and in general, door count and sales are performing well. Sometimes, though, sales are performing well can be difficult to accurately measure when we look at the well being of each vendor in the store. For example, if we have just a few vendors who have sold a few $100 items each, gross sales for the store will be up, but that doesn't mean that each vendor is getting a good piece of the pie. Each year, as we muddle through the transition from winter to spring, some vendors get concerned about their sales in their booth and they're not performing as well as they'd hoped. It's only natural to get a bit down in the dumps when we're not making as much money as we'd like. It's important to note, though, that January was a record breaking month for some vendors. It is possible to overcome the challenges before us. Here's what I can tell you about the vendors who are overcoming the challenges before them and continuing to sell well. They sell desirable merchandise at a fair price. Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban has a famous saying: sales cures all. If customers are not buying what you are selling, there are a few factors we look at, which we call the three P's. The first P is product. Is your product or item you're selling, is it in good shape? Is it clean? Is it something unique or unusual? If you're picking from thrift stores, are you getting quality, desirable merchandise, or are you just getting common items? The second P is price. Nationally, people are spending less on non essentials than they used to. People are looking for a bargain. Ensuring your items are priced at or below market value will help move the product faster. If you are only selling items when you run a sale in your booth, this is a strong indicator that your pricing may be too high. There are multiple philosophies about pricing. There's whole books written about the psychology of pricing. Something we use: if you have plenty of margin with your items, would you rather sell one item for $30, two items for $15 each, or three items for $10 each? You alone have to make that decision for your booth. I can tell you, for our family, we'd rather move more product at a lower price. Our sales, our bottom line is still good because we're selling plenty of items, but it's moving quickly. The third and final P of sales is presentation. We've been taught that customers make up their mind about a booth in less than 10 seconds after seeing it. As we watch, as I and our family and customers and employees, as we watch our customers in person and on the cameras, I can't even begin to tell you how many of them walk past booths entirely, meaning they've deemed that booth as having nothing they would be interested in. We must keep in mind that at least 50% of our customers are repeat customers. They have been through the store before, and if your booth looks the same or they didn't find anything in it before, they are unlikely to stop again. Our repeat traffic is a huge asset and a huge win for the Arc. The national repeat traffic rate for small brick and mortar businesses is about 19%, so about 2 out of 10 people. We're at 5 out of 10 people at least. So if you're asking yourself why your sales aren't higher, it may be helpful to ask yourself the following question: what am I doing to earn their business? If you focus on what the customer wants and make this a priority, you're well on your way to increasing your sales and profitability. I've been running this business since 2020, but have been buying and selling since I was a grade school kid, with a weekend swap meet business on our street, buying, selling, and negotiating with the neighborhood kids. Running a small enterprise, such as being a booth owner, has both risks and rewards. I can assure you that our operation at the Arc is consistently examined and tweaked to provide you the best possible selling experience in the Midwest. I don't say that lightly. That's not just a big goal. I truly believe we have created that environment. Our mall is a different operation than many. We aren't a glorified storage unit. We don't have vendors on site haggling with customers. And we don't rely on passerby traffic for our sales. We run a professional operation, and that's how we've set up our pricing for our vendors. It's costlier to run a professional operation than it is to run a weekend pop-up market. I can also tell you that, yes, while sales are down, I lose sleep and while sales are down, my bottle of antacids gets frequently refilled this time of year. However, although there is stress on the national retail market, it doesn't mean we just throw our hands up and give in. I'm going to propose you ask the following questions to yourself. When is the last time you did a total booth makeover? Spend a few hours totally revamping the booth. Our vendors used to do this every 4 or so months, but we've fallen off that bandwagon. I'm going to work to get us back on this bandwagon, but it's going to take some time. The way you do it, you take everything out of your booth. You do this on a morning or a Sunday or a Thursday night, or we can create some times when we're here early or stay late, because it does create quite a mess and quite an impediment in traffic. So you deep clean your shelving, move your shelving around. For even better results, look at getting different shelving. You want the passing customers to think, wow, this is a new booth. Another thing you can do, mark down items that haven't sold well. If having enough space in your booth is an issue for you, and you have extra merchandise at home, we need to blow through the merchandise you have here in the booth. Mark it down, donate it, get it out. If that type of item isn't selling well for you, it's time to pivot. Mom and I obviously have quite a few booths. Dad has his booth. And so we routinely, not as often as we should, to be frank, but we routinely go through there. And if it hasn't sold in a while, we pitch it, or we donate it, or we put it outside on Market Mania for $1, even though we had $12 on it. The goal is just to keep product moving. Don't have it stagnant. Another thing you can do, take a look around our store and see what others are doing. Take a look around other flea markets and antique malls in the area and see what their vendors are doing. Get inspired to make some changes. I go down to Wichita quite a bit and look at the different flea markets. I love looking at some of them. And it just gives you ideas. There's certainly ideas of what to do and certainly ideas of what not to do, but it's fun to get inspired by that. Lastly, take a few risks. Try new things with your booth. We're running flea market booths. We're not being brain surgeons. We can take small risks and sometimes fail without life-changing repercussions. Try bundling items together. Try moving things around. Try a different form of pricing. Would you have better luck selling something at $5.99 than $6? Selling something 2 for $10 or $6 each? Let's get innovative and try something new. I'll leave you with this. If you're getting bored with your booth and you're not excited anymore, there's probably a good chance your customers are feeling the same way. Ask our clerks and employees for their feedback. You've probably heard mine. Ask the other workers for an honest answer and they'll give it to you. You can take some pictures and post in our Facebook vendor group or in nationwide vendor groups on social media and get constructive criticism. Really hear that constructive criticism. You may say, well, we've tried all these items before. Well, then I'll reference my favorite Dr. Phil quote. So how's that working for you? If it isn't producing well for you, we need to try something else. Together, we can give you the best possible chance for success. If you have questions, call me, text me, email me, stop in the store. We will get you profitable. It is going to take work on both of our ends, but we can do it together.